Welcome to another episode of Sold! Exclamation point. We had $260 something in sales since the last video yesterday. A couple of really cool items. Couple things to talk about. So let's get into the good stuff right away. First up, a really nice, likely 80s Swingster Los Angeles Lakers satin jacket. Swingster is going to be third down in the hierarchy of brands for these satin jackets. It probably goes chalk line number one, starter, and then Swingster, and then any other brands that might be making them. We got 75 for this. Really clean. Really good condition. One thing to note on these satin jackets is look at the button heads. For example, this one, there's no scratching, no chipping. That's usually how you can tell how often it was worn. This one I don't think was worn very much at all. So whoever got this has got a beautiful jacket. Next up is an item that we showed on a consignment video. I stated that Ivy League schools, and I realize Oxford's not an Ivy League, but let's just call it an Ivy League type of school, that it sells quickly. Oxford sold for 26, so not necessarily a big premium, but maybe a week. Took a week to sell. Next up is something I don't really sell a lot. It's a consignment item, but it's an underarm pullover, very lightweight. It was new with tags. Whenever you get a premium brand like that, it's new with tags, it's modern, you're still going to get a decent amount. These probably sold for, I bet, $79.99, and I got 40 for it. So the customer got it for about half off. My client probably invested $10 into it, maybe 15. So he'll double his money. So everybody's happy in that situation except maybe Under Armour. Next up is this real nice 80s Detroit Tigers pennant. It's got that nice old logo. 15 shipped. It's clean. It actually doesn't have any pinholes. It's actually a really nice pennant. Not the oldest, not the most collectible, but this old tiger is nice. They're relatively common though. So what we have here is something that people want, but there's a lot on the market, so you can't get a massive amount of money for it. But nice sale at 15. Next up is an Oakland A's Jose Canseco embroidered autograph snapback. These are actually pretty rare. I've never sold one. I see a lot of advertisements for them in old magazines. So I know they're out there. This one's not in the best condition. Little shaping problems. The bill's kind of, weathered. Let's call it weathered. And I noted all that in the listing, but you don't find them a whole lot. So even though it's not in great condition, still got 15 or 17. I didn't write this one down. That one actually, talk a little something. I sold that hat on a website called Truegether. TrueGether. I'll put a link in the description below the video. What's nice about them is they don't charge any listing fees. They don't charge any final sale fees. They don't charge anything at all. However, you can elect to put a discount on your items, and you can elect to pay them a commission. And by paying them, they'll actually market your items on Google more. I elected to do 10% off my items off eBay, and then I think 10% commission. Pros, when you sign up, you link your eBay account, and it automatically syncs everything up. When something sells on TrueGether, it automatically deletes it on your eBay account. That to me is huge. I literally have to spend no time maintaining the TrueGether account. I just run my eBay account and I just get some extra sales on TrueGether. I make maybe 4 sales a month, which isn't a lot, but you know, at the end of the year, it's an extra couple $1,000s in sales. I'm happy to have them. People tend not to make offers on your items. They tend to buy full price. I've sold low dollar items. I've sold high dollar items. So give it a check. It's really no downside to it. I'm real happy I signed up, probably an hour signing up, looking over the website, and then whenever I make a sale, whatever that investment it is to ship. So no time investment, extra couple thousand in sales. I think it's a no-brainer. Check out TrueGether.com. We had a Smoky Collection sale. These are 2 Scott Christensen autos. Apparently the buyer, I had some other minor league ones, so I sent a message to the buyer saying, hey, you know, I got some of the minor leagues if you want to save on shipping. He was actually putting together a lot of cards for his friends of Oregon Ducks players, so I thought that was kind of a cool idea. So I always like to know why certain players sell. He sold because he went to Oregon. There you go. Next is another Heritage sale, Heritage high number sale. Probably the 3 best prospects of last year: Ohtani, Acuna, and Soto. I talked about this previous video. I opened 2 boxes of Heritage high numbers. I used variation listing to list everything. This was 18 for the 3. I've sold real low dollar stuff. I've sold high dollar stuff. I think I sold an Acuna Action for 90 on that multi-listing. So give a multi-listing a try if you got a bunch of cards from one set. Next up, we got Donruss puzzles. A bunch of them. Okay, so my client had a big stack of these. These are the old Donruss puzzles. You would get 3 in a pack of cards. You put together the puzzle. These aren't worth anything at all. $1.67 on sale. I would not have listed them, except I had maybe 80 of them. I had 8 different ones. So the listing only took me about 5 minutes to make the variation listing. And my sales have been, I think I sold 2 where it was 1 puzzle, so I was real annoyed. So the final price is $6. Not even worth the effort to package it up. But I've had 3 or 4 other sales where 3 or 4, or in this case 6, were sold. At that point, it becomes, you know, a $10 to $15 sale, and it's worth doing. So I was willing to do it because I had a lot of them. I had a lot of variations. Had my client given me just this guy, I'd have been like, no go, I'm not listing that 1 puzzle. It is not worth my time. It's not worth the effort. So what do we learn from that? Low dollar stuff works if you have it in quantity. And you can encourage multiple items of either that 1 item or multiple items of the different variations. So that would be an exception. I'll probably end up getting, let's say, $5, $15 sales on average out of there. Well, then it's worth doing. It took me 5 minutes to do the listing, and you know, my client's happy, the buyer's happy because it's super cheap, and I'm happy. It's all about everybody being happy in the transaction. Let's see, Heritage High, Smoky. Oh, I'm missing an item. Here it is. So this is Brian Trotter, flipping the bird. I'm not from New York. I don't know the historical significance of this shirt. What I did know is that none were for sale on eBay. So I got 22 for it. where if there were a bunch on eBay, it's probably a $10 shirt. And last one up, we'll talk a little bit about this. Sports Illustrated. Okay. In previous videos, I have stated Sports Illustrated are not worth anything at all most of the time. There are a few exceptions. They're not worth listing. They're just not worth it. The exception being Sports Illustrated that do not have a shipping label. This is a retail copy. It's in nice condition. I always put creasing in my condition notes because, if someone's going to stare at a corner and be like, oh, that corner's got a little tiny crease in it, I'd be like, hey, man, I put creasing in the listing. What do you want from me? But it's a near mint book. Because it doesn't have a address label, it's going to sell for 3 times more than what one with an address label in perfect condition. And so I got 10 for this. I just sold another 2 that haven't paid yet for 4 each with my shipping. That'll be 13 for the 2. It becomes just worth it at that point. There's tons of, I listed these yesterday and I've sold 3. I think I listed 7 and I've sold 3. So almost any Sports Illustrated with no shipping label, retail copy in mint condition probably is worth listing. You're only going to get $10, but they're pretty quick to list. Ones with shipping labels, do your research or just decide that it's not worth your time doing the research. That's how I would put it. Obviously, there's exceptions. If you're looking at a cover, LeBron rookie cover is probably worth it. But Jordan covers are usually not worth it. LeBron covers aren't worth it if they have a shipping label. The shipping label kills the value. And so there you go. Sports Illustrated, shipping label, don't waste your time. No shipping label, probably worth listing. That's what I have for you. And have a good day. I will see you guys tomorrow.